Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the Nike founder. This book is phenomenally revealing. Anyone who's looking to get into autobiographies, especially more modern ones, this is a fucking amazing starter. It's quite obvious that Phil Knight had this sort of drive from a young age as he finished school and a bunch of his friends were having fun, going out, partying, working normal careers. He was just like, what could I do that isn't that? So he took a class in business school about entrepreneurship, of course, and he finished it with this paper on the popularity of shoes in Japan and their future. And he showed it to so many people. He got a dope grade on it, but after the whole thing was done, he couldn't stop thinking about it. This is a principle in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill called autosuggestion. If you're exposed to something enough times, just the idea of it begins to like consume your thoughts and desires. But he was like, what the fuck do I do? Everyone knows I have some crazy idea. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. He decided that literally no matter what it was, he was just going to keep going. But so he decided to travel the world with all the money he could get. It started with, I believe, Hawaii. He had a friend he went there with, but then his friend met a girl and shit. Eventually, he was like, bye. And then he went to Japan and spent a lot of fucking time there because of the shit with the shoes. And as he kept going, he started to grow this fascination, this passion with shoes. I don't know about you guys. I always associated Nike shoes with just about every sport that involves shoes, no question. However, I always thought the sport most associated with the brand was basketball. But Phil Knight wasn't a basketball player. He was actually a runner. So maybe that association in his head with the shoes is where it came from. I'm not sure where else it would come from. This dude's writing style is dope, by the way. Like, it knows how to keep your attention. It's just descriptive enough, but not the type where you think, okay, this dude is a little too expressive for my taste. In the book, it's just clear that from the start, he kind of didn't really know what he was doing. Maybe not from the start, but at the start. Okay, definitely not from the start. I mean, with a Stanford MBA, selling Japanese track shoes, but since he was so persistent, he figured it out. Like, just getting kicked out of the bank, pissing off the accountants, negotiating with the businessmen in Japan. There were so many moments where he was like, are we fucked? Like, I don't even know. But you know, we're all gonna die anyway, so fuck it. His spirit, the actual spirit of the company kind of holding it up, is where so much of that unshakable grit was cultivated. By the way, this part I didn't write down in the actual review itself, but I live like 45 minutes away from Philly. And at the end of 2018, this year's Super Bowl, the amount of people flooding down the streets everywhere was absolutely insane. And people were saying, we won. I was like, what? There's no we in Eagles. You're not a fucking football player. You didn't win anything. But there was a moment in this book that seriously stood out to me, is where Phil Knight said a really core thing with Nike that kept it all together was the spirit in the moment, that oneness when the athlete or the athletes win the game or the match. You almost begin to feel like you and the winner are like one together. And that feeling of you coming together as you win is so insane. And I feel like Nike describes that feeling as a brand. Literally, like that entire idea in a fucking swoosh symbol. But anyway, a lot of the problems, particularly, were financial. It's business. I'm not sure what else they would be. He somehow managed to stay close with his family, or definitely tried to. His effort was kind of obvious. Lots of these bios, I find it fascinating how well or not well these people are able to balance their family and work. That passion for shoes though, their design, their purpose in sports, that's what got him through the long hours and the dark moments, the financial crises, and it's insane because at the start people thought it would be a dumb idea. This was starting at a time where running was so weird that runners were at risk of having shit thrown at them on the road. But being able to hit a target that's not even where you look like you're aiming is kind of what vision is. It's the type of shit you have when you can see in the dark. And when everything seemed like he was totally fucked. I look at brands alone like Nike and Apple, and even hearing now about Tesla going private and Elon Musk is facing all this criticism, Jeff Bezos is being called a slave driver. I'm gonna have a huge fucking rant about that at some point in the next month or two, by the way. Amazon workers have to pee in bottles and live in their cars on food stamps. Mark Zuckerberg is trying to take over the world by controlling what you see or something. It's all this crazy shit. All these stocks are totally fucked. Or that's what it seems like. But I look at these people and I know they'll make it through because they're fucking visionaries. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. If there are any other books you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments. If you've checked out this book, what did you think? Did you like it? I want to spark some dialogue here and get to know a little about my audience. But hey, make sure to leave a like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. You guys can find me everywhere and I will see you then.